everyone, welcome to today's video. I am going to be sharing with you 15 beauty products that I absolutely cannot be without. My regular viewers will recognize a lot of them because I do use them often in my videos, but there are a few products that I'll be sharing with you today that you don't actually see me use that often in videos. I use them more behind the scenes in my daily life and just haven't had the chance to really show them that much in videos. Regardless, these are the 15 products that if I were to run out of them, or in the case of the makeup sponge I'll be showing you, if it's just completely trashed and I can no longer use it anymore, I immediately go out and repurchase them. The products in this video will be all over the place as far as price point. I've got some things that are high-end, some things from the drugstore. So I'm starting in no particular order, but because I have all of these sitting front and center, I might as well start with these Stands Out makeup sponges. I simply cannot get away from these. I have been using them daily for probably 2 years now. I was originally sent one from the company to test out. I'll be honest with you, at first I wasn't so sure about it. It's definitely a unique makeup sponge. I had been using a beauty blender or a foundation brush for years prior to trying this product. And what's so different about it is it feels like a memory foam mattress. And I just love how quickly and easily and flawlessly this blends out my liquid foundation, which is what I use the most of. Whenever I do a foundation review, I will often test the foundation out multiple ways, with my fingers, with a damp beauty blender, with a brush, and always with this Stands Out sponge. And I would say 9 times out of 10, my favorite method of application, the way I find the foundation looks its best, is when it's applied with this Stands Out sponge. And I've mentioned this many times in videos, but I will say it again because I'm sure a lot of you will want to know how you use it. What you want to do before the first use is run it under water like you would a beauty blender. You want to keep getting it wet and squeezing out the water, getting it wet and squeezing out the water. It doesn't expand in size quite like a beauty blender does, but it does get a little bit bigger and it gets a little softer. And then what I do is I pat it out on a towel, and then I let it sit overnight. So the next morning when I go to use it, it's actually dry. I use this dry. And what I normally do is just pump a little foundation onto the sponge, and then I just start patting it in. I take it down my neck. I kind of smush it sometimes to get in here by my nose. I would say that one sponge lasts me about 2 months, and that's with daily use. So yes, because they are $20 each, it can get a little bit expensive if you are having to buy one every 2 months. I think most people would be able to stretch it out to 3 months. If I had a more affordable dupe for this product, I would definitely share it with you. If I eventually find one, I will definitely share it with you. But for the time being, I just have to stick with recommending, if you have not tried it yet, the Stands Out sponge. And please give it a little bit of time. There could be potentially a slight learning curve to using it. All right, since I'm speaking about my foundation sponge that I use, let's talk about the foundations that I am constantly repurchasing. Well, maybe not constantly, because it does take me a while to finish a full bottle of foundation because I'm a YouTuber and I am often trying new foundations, any new foundation that comes on the market. If I feel like it would be something that is tailored for my skin, something that I would like, something that my viewers would like to know about, I will go out and purchase it. And sometimes I will end up using it for a couple of weeks before I try something else. Long story short, these are the 3 that over the years I have repurchased the most and have recommended the most. First up is MAC Studio Fix Fluid. Now keep in mind, I have oily skin and I prefer medium to full coverage. If you are someone who is used to wearing a tinted moisturizer, you like something very light and glowy, this is not going to be the foundation for you. This is definitely for someone who wants a flawless, full coverage, matte finish. I have been using this foundation for maybe 20 years, if not longer. And I'm so sorry to have to say this, but I do not have an exact match in this foundation because I know someone's going to ask me, or a few people are going to ask me what shade I wear in this foundation and in the one I'm going to show you next. And unfortunately, I just don't have an exact match. I end up mixing shades. The one I have on right now is actually C40, and I have blended it down my neck and chest. C40, in my opinion, is a really good light to medium neutral shade. And my second most repurchased foundation is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I've talked about this in so many videos, both in tutorials and recommendations videos. This is one of the best on the market, once again, for more oily skin. However, I do know of people that have more combination or even slightly dry skin that do like this foundation simply because it does wear so long on the skin, even in high humidity. I will say though, I find as far as oil control, the Studio Fix does a better job, but I think they're both excellent. And finally, if you do have more normal to dry skin, I would highly recommend and have recommended for years the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is a staple in every celebrity makeup artist kit for a reason. I have been using this foundation off and on for about 15 years. I started using this foundation when I worked for Giorgio Armani. We sold several bottles of this foundation every single day because it was constantly being awarded Best Foundation in magazines like Allure and InStyle's Best Beauty Buys. Since I started wearing the foundation, thankfully they have not only expanded the shade range, but they've also come out with smaller sample size bottles. Well, not exactly sample size, but smaller, less expensive bottles so you can use it for travel or just not have to invest such a large amount of money up front, because this foundation has gone up in price by about $15 a bottle since I started using it. The shade I use currently is 5.75. And getting back to the whole oily skin thing, the fact that I have really oily skin, I can only wear this foundation for a limited amount of time. I will reach for it if I'm going out for the evening and I know I will only need it to last about 4 or 5 hours. And even then, I do need to use an oil controlling primer and definitely set it with powder and setting spray. Now, I know a lot of people don't want to have to go through that sort of effort to wear a foundation, and I completely understand, but to me, the effort is worth it. I just love the way this foundation looks on my skin. I love the way it photographs. I just feel really confident when I use it. I feel like people are looking at me and not my foundation. Okay, let's move on to powders. I have several that I rotate through that I really like, that I have recommended in different videos and different tutorials, but the two that I repurchase the most, and that, as I said in the intro, if I run out of these, I am going right to the store to replace them. And that would be, first up, the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I use both shade 1 and 2. I use shade 1 to set my under eye concealer, and then I use shade 2 for the rest of my face. Or sometimes I'll dip my brush into both 1 and 2. I recently got a new one of shade 1 because my other one had a huge hole in the center, so I am still trying to finish every last bit, but I thought maybe showing a fresh one on camera would be better. However, I clearly did not feel that way about my MAC blot powder. I just grabbed one that I found in my room. I have several of these around my house because I feel like it is the best blotting powder on the market, and I've been using this for years and years. I usually keep one in my car, in every purse, but I just happened to grab one that was sitting on my vanity, and I opened it up and it looks like this. I don't know if I dropped it or if I actually used this much, because usually when this starts to get low, the pad that comes with it starts to get really icky, and instead of just getting a new puff like a smart person would do, I end up buying an entirely new product. But that was back when I had my MAC Pro card and I received 40% off. When my Pro card expired back in 2020, at the very beginning of the pandemic, I think it was May of 2020, I just never renewed it. So I need to get on that so I can get my discount again. Anyway, if you have oily skin, I highly recommend this MAC blot powder. I use medium dark, and I know that sounds wrong because I do not have medium dark skin, but this product does, in my opinion, run extremely light. One time, years ago, I did purchase light, and I looked like a ghost. So if you have a skin tone like mine, I am not joking. I definitely recommend you purchase the medium dark. All right, moving on to concealer. As far as under eye concealers go, I have several that I love and recommend. I promise you I will be doing an updated favorite concealers video very soon. It's in the works. I'm planning it. Anyway, this NARS Complete Concealer that comes in a pot is something that I repurchase over and over, not necessarily to use as concealer for my under eyes, but for cleaning up under my brows and also cleaning up the edges of my eyeshadow. If you've seen any of my tutorials in the last 6 months to a year, you've probably seen me use this product, or at least do that step of taking a brush and carving out the arch of my brow so that they go more towards my temples versus down, because I do have downturned hooded eyes. And then I also use it on the corner of my eyes with a brush to give me a lifted look over here to clean up my eyeshadow and then give it that crisp, uplifted look. And then if I do happen to have a breakout, which thankfully is pretty rare these days, I will also use this to cover up a blemish. It works beautifully for covering up imperfections on the face, and also for the reasons I just mentioned. Eyeshadow primer. This is my go-to. It's from P. Louise. I use Rumor 02. What I love about this particular eyeshadow primer is, aside from the fact that it works great at keeping my eyeshadow on all day and keeping the colors vibrant, it also has a tint to it. So it evens out the skin tone on my lid, and I really prefer that. I have tried some really excellent eyeshadow primers that are sheer or clear, and they work great, but I happen to like evening out, as I was saying, the skin on my lid. Those purpley bluish veins that many of us have, especially as we get older. I just find that this is one of the best I have ever used. It covers all of the bases for me, and I would say that for how much product you get and how little you have to use, it's also priced really, really well. I just wish it was a little bit more accessible, at least here in the United States. I have to order mine or purchase mine from Morphe. All right, coming in at number 9 is going to be a surprise to no one who watches my videos regularly. If you know, you know. It is the Ulta Brow Tint. This is my go-to brow product. I pretty much purchase one of these every other time I'm in an Ulta store. They're around $10, and then I usually have a coupon for $3.50 off. And I love, love, love the tiny little applicator that this has. I've tried other eyebrow gels and tints that have almost as small of an applicator as this, but they don't fluff up my brows and give them the fullness like this one does. I am just so crazy about this brow tint. If Ulta ever discontinues it, I don't know what I'll do. Okay, let's talk about liquid eyeliner. I go through phases, like I'm sure a lot of you do as well, where I love using liquid liner to do a beautiful, sharp, winged eyeliner. And then other times I feel like my skills have just gone out the window and I have no idea how to do a winged liner properly, even though I've been a makeup artist for 20 some years. But my eyes are getting more hooded, more downturned, more crepey, the skin is more loose, so doing a winged eyeliner becomes more and more difficult. Although I will say sometimes I am in the zone and I can do a winged liner like that and it looks fantastic. I like to play around with geometrical shapes that look better on my hooded eyes. I have tons of videos on, well, not tons, but at least 3 or 4 on doing winged liner for hooded downturned eyes if you'd like to check them out. And honestly, there are quite a few liquid eyeliners that I've tried in the past year or two that I think are really great. I find myself reaching for my Stila Stay All Day liquid eyeliner a lot. I find myself reaching for the Pat McGrath liquid eyeliner. There's one from She Glam that's really good. But when I started to really think about which one I have repurchased the most over the years, and the one that I think is the most accessible because you can get it at Ulta or any CVS or Walgreens or Walmart, this is the Physicians Formula Eye Booster Liquid Eyeliner Pen. I usually use the black, but I did just recently purchase the brown and I am having trouble locating it, or else I would show it to you, and I probably would have used it for this look today. But it does come in a beautiful dark brown or in black. I'm actually not sure if it comes in any other colors because I've never really looked for another shade. But I typically will repurchase the black, and it just works really, really well for me. It's extremely easy to use. I really like this type of brush on a liquid eyeliner. It's not too stiff, it's not too flimsy. In my opinion, it's just really easy to work with, and it's really long lasting. And I honestly think that it has some sort of treatment in it that's supposed to grow your lashes. I've never really paid attention to that because I don't use liquid eyeliner daily. And anytime there is a product that claims to change the way your skin looks or change the way your lashes look, typically it's something that you have to use consistently for weeks, and I just don't use this enough to have seen any results. My lashes are still extremely flimsy and thin. But as far as it being a really good, really pigmented, really long-lasting, easy-to-use liquid eyeliner, then I definitely give it 5 stars. So, okay, I've got one more makeup product to share before I move on to some skin and hair care and fragrance. Look at this. Do you see this? This is a bin full of Buxom glosses. When I had my makeup boutique that opened back in 2007, one of the first brands that came to my store once they saw that we were open and we were the only store in this part of Minnesota that had higher end makeup, Bare Minerals reached out to my sister and I, who co-owned the store together, and asked if we would be interested in carrying their products. And at the time, again, this was around 2007, 2008, Buxom was under the umbrella of Bare Minerals. They didn't have all of these separate products that they have now, but these Buxom glosses were one of the first products that they ever came out with. And as soon as we got these in the store, it was love at first use. I was absolutely crazy about these, and I still am. I love a glossy lip. Yes, I do wear matte lipsticks on occasion. Sometimes I wear them on their own, but oftentimes I will top them with a gloss, and I just keep going back to these Buxom glosses. Some people I know do not like them because they do not like the tingle that some people do experience. I maybe have become immune to the tingle because I really don't feel a tingle anymore when I use them. I love the way they smell. I love the way they feel. I love how long lasting they are. I love all of the beautiful shades that they come in. So yeah, I think one could say that I am crazy about Buxom glosses. Okay, so the next 2 products could go in an empties video because I am out of, or almost out of this one, definitely out of this one. This is the Elemis Pro Collagen Naked Cleansing Balm. I might be able to get one more use out of this, maybe. I've tried a lot of cleansing balms, and this is definitely my favorite. There are other ones on the market that are good, but I don't think I'm going back to any of those. I think I'm sticking with this because my skin has never looked better. A lot of times with skincare as a YouTuber, I'm trying out new things, so I'll sort of bounce back and forth. But I've been using this consistently for about 6 weeks now, and it's just so good. It takes off all of this makeup with such ease. It doesn't leave any residue on my skin. A lot of popular cleansing balms, at least for me, I feel like they leave a residue on my skin, and my skin is not entirely clean. This one is amazing, and I really like the naked version because it has no scent. There is another Elemis cleansing balm that's just as good, but it does have some fragrance to it, which I wasn't the biggest fan of. However, the naked is fragrance-free, and it's so good. And then a hair product I've gone back to is this one from Oribe. It is the Straight Away Smoothing Blowout Cream. I apologize that I can't show you my hair down for this video because it would be a little bit more effective if my hair were down, and you could see just how smooth and pretty this product makes my hair. However, I am filming this video on a non-hair washing day, because I am going to the spa with my mother tomorrow. That was my Mother's Day gift to her. And I know my hair's gonna get, you know, messed up from getting a massage, and then we're going to hopefully use the pool and the other facilities that they have there. So anyway, I just didn't want to wash my hair before going there. And then I have a hair color appointment the day after tomorrow, so I just wasn't going to wash my hair today. That's what I'm trying to say. But most of you have more than likely seen recent videos of my hair down, so please take my word for it that this product is amazing. I recently purchased the new Olaplex hair serum, and I thought I really liked it. I actually think I may have said it was one of my favorite products from the Sephora VIB sale. But something has changed in the last couple of weeks since I started using that. And I know it's not the shampoo and conditioner because I went back to using my Olaplex for a time. I was just trying different combinations in the hopes that I could figure out what was causing my hair to not be as smooth as usual. And if I did get it smooth, the smoothness was not nearly as long lasting. And then I decided to try this again, to go back to this from that Olaplex serum, and my hair was a lot smoother, and the smoothness lasts. I was able to wake up the next day and not have to work so hard to get my hair smooth again. I have naturally very wavy, sort of coarse hair, and now that I'm getting more gray, that's definitely more coarse, especially around my hairline. I have a lot of cowlicks, and the hair is definitely changing, and I'm going back to this because I found that this just worked the best for my pre-blowout smoothing cream. I'm almost out of it, so I do need to get another one ASAP. Now, I did already get a new one of this favorite, which is the Vita Liberata Body Blur, which I know I have recommended many times in other videos on my channel. This is my favorite product for body makeup, especially in the summertime when I'm showing a little bit more skin. If I'm wearing a dress that's showing off my legs, or if I'm showing shoulders, it not only gives my legs or whatever other skin I'm using it on some color, but it also covers imperfections like those blue veins that a lot of us have on the back of our knees. I just love using this product to perfect my skin when I'm going out for a special event or a date night. I've tried other body makeup products. I just find myself always going back to this one. The shade I use is Latte. And lastly, I have a fragrance to share with you. I have so rarely repurchased a fragrance in my lifetime. I think it's partly because I worked in department stores for so many years, and I was given so many fragrances for so long. I've also recently, in the past 2 or 3 years, gotten into high-end luxury fragrance like Baccarat and Parfums de Marly, which are all over $300. So I try not to use them as, you know, my daily perfume. I try to save those for special occasions so I don't go through them very quickly. But one that I do find myself reaching for on almost a daily basis that is not cheap, it's not an inexpensive fragrance, but it's not quite as expensive as the ones I just mentioned. This is the Chanel Gabrielle Essence Eau de Parfum. I know I've told this story before in another video when I've talked about this perfume. This was a mistake. I had originally ordered it on Sephora thinking I was buying just the original Gabrielle Eau de Parfum. But I accidentally purchased the essence and I fell in love immediately. This was a very happy mistake. This just works so beautifully on my skin. I am horrible at describing fragrances, so I will put the notes in a caption on the screen. I can just spray this twice, walk through it, and I feel like the scent just envelops my entire body and lasts for hours. I receive lots of compliments when I wear it. I bring it with me whenever I travel. I think it's good for daytime. I think it's good for nighttime. It's definitely one of my top 5 fragrances of all time. All right, everyone, those are the 15 beauty products that I simply cannot be without. My love for them is endless. Well, I think it's endless until something else comes along that just knocks it off of the list, which of course, if that happens, I will share that with you immediately. But for now, these are the products that if I lost them or finished them, I would immediately go out and repurchase. I will have everything listed and linked down below in the description box, including the makeup I'm currently wearing. This dress that I'm wearing, unfortunately, I don't think is available anymore. I purchased it from ASOS about a year ago. I'll look, and if I can find it online, of course, I will link it for you. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. If you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Join the Risa Does Makeup family. I do try to upload new content at least twice per week. You can also find more content from me on Instagram and on TikTok under the same username, Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.